and Vasiliy Lomachenko, a guy who was cheated big time out of his Haney win. But karma is a thing. Garcia got the get back for him, and then we got George Kambosos Jr., who was kind of under the radar. Somehow, he beat Teofimo Lopez and took the titles. Devin Haney went down under and was able to get the titles back from George Kambosos in a two-fight duel between those guys. He won both fights and won them convincingly. I think it's an interesting matchup. I think George Kambosos is a guy who's got a high motor. I think he's a solid fighter, but I think he's going to be outclassed by the sheer natural ability, skill, precision that Vasiliy Lomachenko brings. I don't necessarily see a knockout from Vasiliy Lomachenko at this point. I think he could knock him out. I don't think he does. I think Vasiliy Lomachenko dominates George Kambosos from the start in this fight. I think he outboxes him. I think when it comes to precision punch wise, I think we're going to see both in power shots and in the jab that Vasiliy Lomachenko doubles what we see George Kambosos put out and connect on. He might double him on punch count as well, but he'll definitely double him on what he connects. I got Vasiliy Lomachenko by unanimous decision. What are your thoughts on it, Dub?
Man, I concur again. Lomo, like you mentioned before, both of them lost to Haney. Lomo definitely got cheated out of that W that Haney got back in May
Crazy,
of
crazy.
2023. Again, when you get a champion, man, you have to truly beat the champion. So if the judges don't see that, they're gonna give it right. They're gonna give it to the champion. So if it's not a knockout, if you're not putting them on the canvas and ending the night, then it's not gonna work out for you. I think Lomo is at the end, man. I think Lomo maybe have like one or two more fights left, and he's definitely a sure ballot Hall of Famer for sure. Even though he's only fought what 20 fights. This will be his 21st fight, professional fight.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, pro fight. So not a lot of mileage. He's older. He's 35, I think. But I think he will have enough to win in the championship rounds, and he'll win by decision in 12.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And what I'm hoping comes out of this with Devin Haney getting dominated the way he did by Ryan Garcia, I think there's a possibility that we could see Haney Lomachenko too, because
I
I
would like.
think I think what happens is, like, again, people are saying that you lost to Lomachenko, you actually lost to Ryan Garcia, PEDs or not, he dominated you, and so I think he's going to be kind of at a point where he's going to have to take a fight to where you prove yourself. And to
Credibility.
me, the only way you prove yourself, maybe you fight Ryan Garcia again at some point. I don't think you do that right away, you
Mm-mm.
know. And I think you got to fight Lomachenko again. Maybe Lomachenko comes up to 140. I don't know if that's something he's willing to do, but I know he's a guy, kind of like his countryman, in Usyk, that is not going to back down from any challenge. And I think he'll come up, and I think Haney will suffer. I, Technically, I think the loss for Haney is going to get removed. It's going to be a no contest, so he doesn't have a loss after this B sample comes back positive. Which
It
how,
probably.
how does it not come back positive, right? Like, and I'm tired of the comments I see online. People talking about, oh, this is a conspiracy. Haney and them had something to do with it. Listen, at the end of the day, and they're like, oh, it has nothing to do. He still got dominated. PEDs are banned for a reason. Whether it's
Yeah.
helping you with recovery, that's an advantage. Whether it's helping you with strength and power, that's an advantage. There's a reason why the drugs are illegal. So at the end of the day, like, this whole thing of being like, oh, they just want to take the win away from Ryan because people are bringing in religion. People are talking about his ties to Trump, whatever. At the end of the day, he cheated. All right? Let's be clear about that. Unless the B sample comes back and is negative and they're able to explain it was a food that he ate indirectly, which I don't know. At the end of the day, the B sample comes back positive. He cheated. It's a no contest, so Haney doesn't technically have a loss. I think he fights Loma again and he gets his first loss. in that
So
fight against Loma.
I tell you,
Um,
person he will not fight.
oh,
That
we know who he ain't gonna fight.
he ain't fighting Tank. We
Nah,
saw for Ryan Garcia to definitively say he do not want that smoke with Tank. So what's his dad's name? Is it Devin? Not Devin.
Bill Haney.
Bill Haney. Bill Haney. Shut the fuck up. You
Yeah,
don't you don't want that smoke.
yeah, and maybe we get Haney Shakur now.
Okay,
Because
I can see that.
again, he's got to take a fight. This kind of low risk. I think is his next fight.
I think Stevenson will beat him.
Man, I think we not gonna get the type of action we would want if we see them two fight. We ain't gonna get a lot of action out of them two. Because something I never thought about that I saw Tank talking about in his presser, with Frank Martin, who he's got coming up next, and Dub and I are gonna be talking about that real soon. So look out for that video when it drops. But with Tank and Frank Martin, Tank was talking about how Shakur, he's like, yeah, he don't want it. He was like, his defense not even really that. He was like, you don't see him slip any punches. All you see him do is jump back. And when went and looked at the tape, I'm like, dang, Tank ain't lying. You don't see Shakur in the pocket slipping punches. You don't see him doing a lot of that. You see him jump back. And you see a lot of jumping back and him getting out the way. And so if he's jumping back and Haney fights like he normally fights, it ain't gonna be a lot of action. Now, if Haney come in there and try to fight like he fought Garcia, then I think Shakur wins the fight. But if they both fight how they normally fight, I got Haney winning by decision. Listen, those are our thoughts on it. We gave you our picks. We got George Kambosos Jr., Vasiliy Lomachenko coming up. It's going to go down this weekend. Listen, as always, we need three things. We need that CLS treatment. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back with more from In the Arena. Till
Ooh.
next time. Cool.
Yep.
We got it in.
Got some good stuff right there.
Yeah.